Dear viewers, what can create success in your financial life? Buying stocks, buying mutual funds, buying real estate, buying gold, or alternative investment opportunities? The answer is none of these things. The thing which can give success in your financial life is your ability to ask the question, what can go wrong, and finding answers for this particular question. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about every aspect of why you should ask this question, what can go wrong, and how it can impact your success in financial life. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant, but your financial guide for a happy living.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Dear viewers, you must master this technique of asking yourself this question, what can go wrong, at every time you have to take a financial decision. No excuses on this. And this is not just while doing some investment. Anything which has a financial consequences, you must ask this question, what can go wrong, and find the answers. When you ask this question, then you should get certain answers. Can it be assured that it will be a successful one? What can go wrong from it? If it goes wrong, what could be the impact on your finances? And how you are prepared to overcome that particular problem that you might encounter on this. Do you have plan B just in case if things did not go in the right direction? Unless you find answers to these particular questions, you should not venture into any of the decisions which can have financial implication. It is just not for investment. See, when you do an investment, you have multiple choices in front of you. You have got mutual funds, you have got the stocks, you can do the trading, you can buy into real estate, gold, so many of them. You can be the do-it-yourself investor. You could be the person who is taking the help of a financial planner. Whatever be the choices that you are making, for every choice that you make, you should ask the question, what can go wrong? Recently, I did a video on the bank FDs, where I mentioned that the bank FDs are eroding your wealth. It touched a lot of people. A lot of people commented with a mindset of denial. So these are the persons who have put their life's earnings only in the banking fixed deposits. And when we did this particular video, it hit them hard with the facts and figures. So they started commenting with the expression of denial. No, FDs are the best one. I'm not saying that the FDs are bad, but you need to ask this question, what can go wrong when you put all the money in the fixed deposits alone? What is the reinvestment risk? What is the taxation that is going to do here in this case? Am I overexposed to one single bank? What if that bank goes for prompt corrective action? Do I have an alternative to it? Unless you ask these questions, what can go wrong, and find a right answer for it, the chances are that you will be caught on the wrong foot at one point or the other time. It's just not with the bank fixed deposit. Let's look at the mutual funds. These are the days of do-it-yourself investors. How does a do-it-yourself investor invest in the marketplace? He will check on the Google, or he'll check on some of the sites, and he'll look for the funds which give you the best possible return, and they are going to put money on that. The funds which give you highest return are the funds which will be loaded with the risk. You see the micro cap funds, the small cap funds, sector funds. So these are something which will move in a particular season, or because of their limited liquidity, they will give supernatural returns when their time comes. Likewise, what can go wrong? If the time were to be against them, if the tide were to change, they will collapse. So unless you find an answer, what can go wrong in your investment exercise, you can be doing wrong things there. I remember one case when my initial days of Dubai, gold was moving very high. I met one other prospect. I was shocked to see this gentleman was putting the entire saving, whatever he had, and it is not a small timer. He was in some very good management position, loading his investment vehicle only with gold. You can't imagine this. But when I told him this is not something, he said, I can't believe it. Every day the gold is going to go up. He's not an ordinary man. He's a man who was there in a management position. But he never asked this question, what can go wrong? What happened subsequently? Gold literally collapsed and the gentleman was heartbroken. So if you had inculcated that habit of asking what can go wrong, it would have told him the story that the gold is moving too fast. It doesn't move every day. It will not move all the time. Probably I can expose certain amount of money to gold, but not my entire saving into the gold. And that would have saved him. And he never could recover from his positions thereafter. People often do similar mistakes when they buy into real estate. They get into a big real estate. They get into a commitment of a huge EMI. They think that the property prices will continue to rise. They think that jobs are very secure. They think they are going to get so much of a bonuses. And suddenly recessions hit, economic downturns will happen, the companies will go through a bad phase and they may fire people and everything can go for a complete toss. Had you asked this question, what can go wrong? When you bought into that real estate, it would have given you lots of answers. Then you could have thought, oh, if this happens, how can I manage this? What is the plan B I have? What is the cushion that I have? How it will impact? What compromises I have to make? And you would have taken a balanced view on this. It's just not with the investments alone. If you have to choose a school or a college for your child, then also you need to be asking the same question. What can go wrong? What if your child does not cope up with the standards of that school? What if you cannot afford to pay the fees of that particular school? You are under the assumption that putting your child into a good school or college can create success in the life of children. Probably, I beg to differ here. Just getting your child into a best school or college will not create success in the life of children. Your children should have that passion. You should have the affordability. Entering a good college or an institution can open the doors of a good company. But beyond that point, once your child enters a particular career, the career path growth depends on entirely different things. Their ability to mingle with people, the soft skill, communication, building teams, helping others. These are the qualities which will dictate whether they'll become successful or not. If you are just believing that getting an admission into a good school creates success in your life and you commit disproportionate amount of money, something what you cannot afford, then it can create disaster in your life. Even in such cases, you should ask the question, what can go wrong? If you are moving places from one place to another place, you are shifting cities or shifting from one country to the another country, you must be asking the question, what can go wrong? There are a lot of people live happily in India. They have salaries of 50,000, a lakh of rupee, and they move to Middle East or some other country, and they get a figure that I get a 2 lakh rupee salary there. But people fail to ask the question, what is the equivalent of that 50,000 rupees in India to a salary you get it in some developed countries? There is something concept of known as the purchase power parity. The life that you can lead in India with a 50,000 salary or a lakh of rupee salary, you require much, much higher amount of money if you were to be living in a country like Dubai or London or US or Canada. If you ask the question, oh, am I lured only by that salary hike which I am going to get by moving to the places? Probably you can be up for a rude shock. Housing is expensive. Living outside of India can be expensive. Probably many a times your life can be much better in India itself had you asked this question, what can go wrong? So dear viewers, if you want to be successful in your life, the first question or the first thing that you should practice is asking this question, what can go wrong, and list the consequences and check how you are prepared for it. To be successful, you should also know what is that the crowd is telling. When I say crowd, the society outside is talking about, your office is talking about, or the newspapers, television is talking about. If the crowd is telling you something, the chances of you getting financial success by following the crowd is very, very limited. You must make note of this thing. If you think everybody is telling the stock market is going to go up or it is going to hit new highs, chances are that the markets have already run up a lot. It is creating emotions. More and more retail is there. It is creating a frenzy. It's just a matter of time that the markets will change their direction and move towards south. That could be the thing. If everybody is telling you the same thing, you can be reasonably certain the outcome will be against that. When everybody is telling you the same answer, it only means to say that nobody is thinking. Everybody is just believing what the crowd is telling. Remember this, there is a great value in going contra against the opinion of the crowd. If the crowd is telling you to buy, probably there is a better chance for you to sell and exit. Or if the crowd is telling it is going to be a disaster, markets have fallen down, rupee is down, and nothing is going to be recovering from here, probably that is the place where you will identify the opportunity. To hit success, first see what the crowd is telling. If the crowd is telling you only one answer, either buy or sell, your chances of hitting success is large if you take a reverse action from what crowd is telling. I'll tell you an example. In the year 2008, the markets had crashed from 21,000 to levels of about 8,000. A very interesting case study. The bank FDs were quoting just 5.5% FD rate of interest. But we observed that everybody is loading banks with the money. Nobody wanted to invest in the stock market. Banks were very healthy. They had a very healthy balance sheet at that point of time. Very, very interestingly, instead of keeping your money in the bank FDs, had you bought the bank shares on the day, the banks were giving a dividend yield of, mark my words, 9 to 12%. You could choose any Indian bank at that time. Just remove a fixed deposit and buy the bank shares. Every year you would have got 9 to 10% of your purchase value as the dividends, and the dividends were 100% tax free at that point of time. And persons who did this, I was one of the persons who did this, could rake in huge amounts of profits by locking into the banking stock. You just need not select any stocks. You could have picked up an SBI or an ICICI or J&K Bank or a Canara Bank or a syndicate bank. The story with each and every bank was same. The crowd was stuck with fear. They were moving money into the banks. They never asked the simple question, if my money is safe in the bank, what prevents from owning it? If a bank can give you a dividend, see, I remember a bank called Vijaya Bank, where its share prices was just about 22 rupees, and it had a dividend yield of 10%. That means buying a share of 22 rupees, within a couple of months, you could get 2 rupees as the dividend, which is tax free. And within next 6-8 months or 1 or 2 years, the same stocks of every Indian bank moved up by 3 to 4 fold. Right? So if you had asked this question at that time, what the crowd is telling, and if the crowd was stuck with fear, had you taken a reverse position, you would have been raking profits at that time. It's not only in 2008, you will find answers, you will find opportunities at every stage of life. I'm going to ask you a question. Now you are seeing what's happening in the marketplace. Which sector you feel is a good contra buy? Which sector you feel will not go belly up, but market is not favoring it today? Which sector is the one where people are afraid to put money in? I am listening to you. Please leave your comments below here. One another thing you should make it a habit in life is, don't ask for your friends and relatives the opinion about your financial decisions. Ask yourself this question: why do you ask with your friends and relatives? The inner answer tells you that you need an approval. You want somebody else to tell you what you are doing is right. But why should you take their words very seriously? Are these the people who are responsible for an advice? They can tell you anything. Their approval or their suggestions will not carry responsibility. Say tomorrow if you take a decision based on their opinion, and if something goes wrong, your friends and relatives will not stand by your side. Are your friends and relatives are knowledgeable enough to give you the suggestions? In 99% of the cases, they do not have the requisite expertise to answer your question. So they are part of the crowd. And I told you, when the crowd is telling something, what is that you need to be telling? Do not take the opinion of your friends and relatives too seriously. They do not carry responsibility for their advice, nor they are in a position to answer your queries in a manner of expertise unless they are experts in their field. Otherwise, don't take them too seriously. One another habit that you should inculcate to hit success in financial life is taking decision with a time delay. See, time delay is not procrastination. It is not that you have taken a decision, you are trying to, postpone it out of lethargy, or you don't want to take a decision. That's not what I mean to say. You have taken a decision today, but don't immediately sign on it. Don't immediately latch onto it. Give it a couple of days time, or maybe 1 or 2 weeks time, or take time from the person with whom you have made a commitment, and you tell them that I'll come back to you with such and such a time horizon, and then you take a decision. What is the advantage? The advantage is this. Now let's say you are talking to some person for some particular product, and the person impresses you, and you get overwhelmed by the emotions. And at that point of emotions, when you are overtaken by emotions, what happens is your common sense takes a back seat. Emotions and common sense will not remain on the same page. If you have common sense, then your emotions get subside, or if you have an emotions, the common sense will take a back seat. So you should always wait for the emotions to subside. If you are taking a decision based on emotions, give it a time. Emotions will not last long. After a few hours or a couple of days, those emotions will come down, and the common sense, which is abundantly available in every individual, will overpower those emotions, and you will be able to take a rational decisions. So delay taking the decisions. Give it a few hours or a couple of days or 1 or 2 weeks, depending on the type of decision you want to take. Then probability of you taking the right decision is much, much higher. Dear viewers, I am a practitioner of finance. I am in the business of helping families build successful financial life. I have helped thousands of families spread across globe. We have got clients in more than 60 different countries. I have got 3 decades of experience. If you are a person who is looking out for professional help to build your financial life, you could make best use of our services. How can you reach us? Simple. We have shown our number here on the screen. Through a WhatsApp message from any corner of the world, you can reach to us. One of the financial guides who is working with us, or probably myself, could be the person who will help you to build a nice, good, safe financial life for you. Why delay? Send that message now. Dear viewers, hope the video that I have done today helped you to understand how by adopting a simple questioning technique you can avoid disasters that might unfold in your financial life. If it did help you to understand the simple technique, please like this video. If you are a person who is watching my channel for the first time, or if you are yet to subscribe for the channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Don't forget to share this video with your near and dear ones. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I shall be back with you next Friday with yet another topic in yet another video.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.